It is week 2 of spring training videos for the Toronto Blue Jays, and as of today, 2 weeks today, the season begins on March 28th as the Jays welcome the Detroit Tigers to Rogers Center. Oh God, that sounds good to say, doesn't it? It's a weird 3:37 tip-off on a Thursday afternoon. That is just terrible. I mean, I don't know why you're starting the season on a Thursday afternoon, but I don't make the schedules, so be it. We're here to talk about this week's games, everybody, and you know what? The Jays started the week doing really, really well. They lost their last couple games, then tied today against the New York Yankees, but we're here to break these puppies down. In the last video, we were talking about certain players and how they were doing. This week, I want to kind of break the games down a little bit more, because the closer and closer we get to the season beginning, the more these players playing well actually might mean something. All right? Even though it's not not against like premium talent or whatever, but their play and their confidence means a lot, right? So the first game was a split squad game actually on the Friday against the Pittsburgh Pirates. And the first game, the Jays win 11-0. I mean, they just clobber the Pirates, out-hit them 15-3, and the big day, Bo Bichette, 3 for 5, then he had a home run in the game, a couple RBIs, a couple runs scored, and before I say anything, Bo Bichette had a week. I mean, my goodness, he had a week. Billy McKinney went 2 for 4 with a couple RBIs. K. Money went 1 for 3. And I think that's about all she wrote when it comes to big guys doing things, all right? Who started the game? Sean Reid-Foley with 4 innings of clean, no-hit ball, walks 1 and strikes out 4. Good to see there. And Sam Gaviglio, you know, we know what he was last year for this team, but he's actually put a really good spring together. Gone 10 1/3 scoreless innings has Sam Gaviglio. Maybe a long man out of the bullpen would not be a bad idea for Sam Gaviglio, because it seems like in the rotation, there's a lot of guys there already in the mix. So he could be a guy, a really good long man out of the bullpen, but we're going to have to wait and see. Tim Meza goes a clean inning. Why not? Strikes out 2. No hits, no walks. Psh, another day in the office for Tim Meza. And Danny Barnes goes an inning, gives up a hit, and strikes out 2 guys. Good to see Danny Barnes kind of getting around here, because last season was tough for him. You know, had a tough time. I think he got injured as well. Then got sent down to Buffalo and really didn't make his way back up to the Blue Jays at all. And then they DFA'd him this offseason, right? He had a tough, especially after the year he had prior. My goodness, I mean, he had a tough time. Good to see him with a 2.25 ERA, though, and the Jays went 11-0 in that first game. The second game was a 5-2 victory over the Pittsburgh Pirates, all right? Great to see there. Randall Grichuk went 1 for 2. I think he had a home run. Teoscar Hernandez 1 for 3. Justin Smoke 2 for 2. Brandon Drury 2 for 2, and this guy had a time, that's for sure. And Vladimir Guerrero Jr. went 0 for 3 with a walk. With a walk. Speaking of Vladimir Guerrero Jr., before we continue on, the story coming into camp. Will he impress that much that he forces the Jays' hands to play him this year? At least to start, and burn one of his years of eligibility, free agency eligibility. Well, the answer is no. He will not be on the team to start the year. And it's not just because of his lackluster play. Look, he went 0 for 3 in that game. I think that was the last game he played. He might have had 1 at bat in another game or something. But he had hit in 211. I mean, he really didn't have a good spring, did Vladdy, when he was playing. You know, he had how many at bats? I'm just going to look here. 19 at bats. He hit 211, didn't hit a home run, and had 1 RBI. It's not great. Now, it's only 19 at bats, so it's not really much of a sample size, but he didn't do very well. And then he went down with an injury, not very serious, which is great news. He was only a few weeks, which is not bad. But he will not be playing in spring training anymore. He won't be in Montreal for that Montreal series. And as of today, he got sent back to, he got sent to the minor league camp. So that tells you right there where Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is going to start the season. All right, so that's it. No more Vladdy talk, because that's what's happening. Who else is well in that game? Lourdes Gurriel goes 1 for 2. Santiago Espinal. Who is that? The Jays acquired him in the Steve Pearce trade. He went 1 for 1. He came off the bench in favor of Lourdes Gurriel Jr. And he went 1 for 1. He's hitting 273 in the spring. Great to see from Santiago. Freddie Galvis went 1 for 2 in the game. And Marcus Stroman started that game, went 4 innings, gave up 1 hit, and struck out 3. Mwah! Great to see from Marcus. His ERA dropped to 2.25. After the tough start against the Yankees there earlier in the spring, he has been dominant in his last 2 outings. ERA, like I said, dropped into 2.25. Great to see there. And out of good innings, Jordan Schaefer went an inning and a third, struck out 2. He's a guy that I think is going to be one of those, first-time call-ups, right? He's going to be in AAA, I'm pretty sure, to start the season. But if an injury occurs, he's going to be the guy. He was great last year in Buffalo. I think the Jays saw him a little bit in September, but I think he's going to be a guy that we're going to see when an injury does occur, because it will happen over a lengthy 162 game season. All right, and this is an 8-7 victory over the Philadelphia Phillies. Teoscar Hernandez goes 2 for 3. Eric Sogard 2 for 5 in the game. And where else are we here? Andy Burns goes 2 for 2, 1 for 3. Justin Smoke, Rowdy Tellez 1 for 5. Anthony Alford 1 for 3. And I think he hits another home run because this guy can't stop raking the ball. And the Anthony Alford guys, I mean, this guy has been impeccable. Who knew he had power? The young 24-year-old outfielder, he had 27 at-bats in the spring so far. He's hitting .296 with 4 home runs, 7 RBIs, and 2 stolen bases. He has been awesome. He might be pushing for that final outfield spot. Teoscar Hernandez is going to make the team. Kevin Pillar. And it would not surprise me, because of his age and you want to give him a chance, Dalton Pompey. Now, with Anthony Alford's play, he could be your 4th outfielder. Now, you could say also Billy McKinney because of his great time last year with the team. And you could also say because of, Jonathan Davis because he's the older guy. But I don't know. I mean, Anthony Alford is really pushing the hands of the Blue Jays here, and I'm loving what we're seeing. Richard Urania went 2 for 3 in the game as well. Luke Maley went 1 for 3. I think it's like his first hit of the spring, or his, second hit or something like that. He has really not been good. Matt Shoemaker started that game. Really wasn't that good. I think that's Zach Jackson, if I'm not mistaken. Where is he here? Oh, where is it? Is this the wrong game? No. There he is. Zach Jackson. I think he was a reliever. I don't know where he pitched last year. Could have been A-ball, I want to say. He's gone 4 innings in the spring so far, 7 strikeouts, and hasn't given up a run. The 24-year-old righty. Okay, good stuff there. And also in that game, where are we here? Luciano, my man, did not pitch very well. ERA of 13.5. Yikes. David Paulino with a clean inning of work there. Ryan Tepera with a clean inning of work. Corey Copping, not very good. He was acquired in the John Axford trade at the trade deadline last year. And that's it for the Philadelphia Phillies game. Let's go to the 10-1 whomping of the Minnesota Twins. And at this point, the Jays just can't stop winning. They've won 8 straight after this win. They're on fire. You love it. Bo Bichette in this game goes 3 for 5, gives you a couple RBIs, scores a couple runs. I think he hits another home run in the game. He's been spectacular in the spring, and the question continues to arise. Will he make the team out of camp? He's playing so well, but I don't see it. Brandon Drury goes 1 for 3. Rowdy Tellez 3 for 4 with 5 RBIs, and he hits a home run himself. Sorry, he hits a shot, because it was a mood shot from Rowdy Tellez in that game. And he's hitting .333 after that game. Beautiful job from Rowdy Tellez. Lourdes Gurriel 2 for 4. Kevin Biggio 2 for 5. He hits another home run. Danny Jansen 2 for 3 in that game. And Ryan Borucki gets the start. Now, Ryan Borucki had not shown any sort of consistency. But in that start, oh baby, he was good. 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 walks, struck out 3 guys, did not allow a run. ERA dropped to 3.75. Last time we talked, it was in the 6s and the 8s for Ryan Borucki, so great to see there. Trent Thornton went 2 innings, gave up a run, and struck out 2. ERA dropped to 5.63. I think it was 6 when we talked. Joe Biagini. Now, I want to have a little discussion about Big Joe. Because he went a clean inning there, and he went a clean inning actually today against the Yankees as well. I think Joe Biagini is going to have a great year. I'm going to say it right now. The reason I say this, now hear me out. Okay. When he came into this league with the Blue Jays, he was a reliever, correct? Okay. He had a great season. He was an incredible pitcher, and he was one of the Jays' dynamite guys out of the bullpen that we always trusted. So what do they try to do the following year? Try to stretch him out as a starter. He starts the year as a bullpen guy, does pretty well. They try to convert him into a starter. I think they sent him to AAA to be a starter. He pitches some games down there, whatever. Comes back to the big leagues or whatever. I don't know exactly how it all formed up. I'm just ballparking it. Comes back to the Jays as a starter. Does not pitch well. Has a terrible end to that season. And we're like, man, he should have stayed a reliever. Last year, they stretch him out as a starter again. And this time start him in AAA Buffalo. And then bring him back as a starter with the Jays. He's still terrible. Then they throw him in the bullpen. And he's bad there. You know why? Because he's got no sort of consistency. He's got no feel for anything at this point. He doesn't know what the heck he is. So what does Charlie Montoyo do now? For this year. No John Gibbons anymore. Charlie Montoyo is the head coach. He's a bullpen guy this year. Joe Biagini, guys, it's in very, very small work. But he's pitched 5 innings. Struck out 4. Hasn't given up a run. Now, I know it's the spring. I know it doesn't mean anything. But for confidence sake and for Joe Biagini's sake, I think Charlie Montoyo did an amazing job by putting him back as a reliever. Because we have seen when he is good as a reliever what he can be. But you want to see that this year. I just got this feeling, man. I got this feeling that he's going to be a really good pitcher for the Blue Jays this year. I really, really do. And Patrick Murphy, the young right-hander, ERA of 7.20. But he threw a clean inning of work there in that Minnesota Twins game. Now let's get to the losses and then the tie today. Now, yes, it was a 2-1 loss on Tuesday against the Tampa Bay Rays. However, positives. Teoscar Hernandez went 1 for 2. That's about it with the offense. Oh, Kevin Pillar went 2 for 3. He's been struggling so far, so good to see that. And then Anthony Alford goes 1 for 3. Continues to swing the bat really well. And Aaron Sanchez continues to dominate the spring. Those 4 shutout innings. Gives up 1 hit. The thing I love to see right here. In 4 innings, he walked 1 guy and struck out 3. No runs given up. He was incredible once again. I love what we've seen from Aaron Sanchez so far in the spring. And him and Marcus Stroman are going to be the catalyst to this rotation this year. They really are. So, what do you want to see? You want to see some sort of consistency and health. Well, they've been healthy in the spring. Both of them have. And they've been good. Let's see if they can transfer that into the regular season. Only time is going to tell. John Axford with a clean inning there. Ken Giles has had a rough spring, but he had a clean inning there and struck out 2. Ryan Tepera blew that game. The Jays had a 1-0 lead, and he blew that one. Thomas Pinot with a clean inning, and Sam Gaviglio with the clean inning in that game as well. The Jays just didn't get any offense that day. Oh well, it happens. Next day, on Wednesday, the Blue Jays lose 6-4 to the Baltimore Orioles, and look, again, another game that you lose, but it's okay. You got to try and take the positives out of the game. And of course, my MLB app just froze on me. But you know what? Losses happen, people. All right. And when they're in the spring, we've talked about it many times before. It doesn't matter if you win or you lose. You got to take the positives out of those games, right? And the positive I take: Marcus Stroman, 4 1/3, 2 hits, 1 run, strikes out 6. And his ERA drops to 2.19 in the spring. He's been great. Sean Reid-Foley gets lit up in his 2 innings of work. 2 hits, a walk, 2 runs, 4 strikeouts. Not very good. David Paulino didn't even get an out. Walked 2, give up 2 hits, and give up 3 runs. He was rough. Danny Barnes continues his great pitching. He went another clean inning in that game. And offensively, Bo Bichette continues to rake the baseball. He was 2 for 5 in the game. Billy McKinney went 1 for 3. Danny Jansen 1 for 3. Rowdy Tellez 2 for 3. Jonathan Davis 2 for 4. And that's really about when it comes to the offense. You lose, oh well, that's all she wrote. Today was a 1-1 tie against the New York Yankees. And on the offense, Bo Bichette comes in for 1 at bat off the bench for Freddie Galvis. And he goes 1 for 1. Bo Bichette is hitting .406, people. .406. He's had an incredible spring as Bo Bichette, my goodness. Brandon Drury goes 1 for 2. He's hitting .345. Great to see there. Justice Smoke 1 for 2. Kendrys Morales 1 for 3. Eric Sogard 1 for 2. That's about it for the offense. Only 5 hits for the Blue Jays. But Matt Shoemaker pitches a great ball game. 5 1/3, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. Yeah, his ERA is 4.85, but he puts a really good 5 1/3 in there for the Blue Jays in this game. And my boy, Elvis Luciano, the youngster, I want to see this kid do well. I really do for this team. He's 19. He's going to be a young pitcher for the Jays this year. I want to see him do well. Because I don't want them to send him back. I want to keep this kid. I don't see them letting him go or anything. But he goes an inning and 2/3 today. Gives up a couple hits. Doesn't give up a run. Doesn't walk a batter. Good job there. His ERA was like 13.50 going into the game. It drops to 9.95. Much better, young man. Can't wait to watch you pitch it as a Blue Jay. Tim Mason goes a clean inning. No problem there. Joe Biagini gets into some trouble, but does not give up a run. Gives up a hit, 2 walks. So basically the base is loaded, but nothing occurs from there as the Blue Jays and Yankees tie 1-1. All right, so let's just quickly go through the games that's up this week before the next time I'll be talking to you guys. All right, they play tomorrow against the Phillies at 1:05. A split squad game on Saturday against the Yankees and the Baltimore Orioles. They play Sunday against the Minnesota Twins. Detroit on Monday, 1 p.m. as well. Boston, 1 p.m. on Tuesday. Wednesday, 1:07 against the Atlanta Braves. I was going to say Atlanta Hawks. It's still in basketball mode. And then on the Thursday, we play the Phillies at 1:05. Okay? So, I think that's like 8 games in 7 days. It's going to be a long one. It's going to be a lot of baseball people. But you got to keep taking the positives out of these games. And can Marcus Stroman and Aaron Sanchez continue to dominate the spring as we get closer and closer to the season getting going? I can't wait. And the question will be, will Bo Bichette continue to play well and force the Jays' hands to tell them, hey, kid, you made the team? Even though they probably don't want to right now. When you're playing that good, my goodness. I don't know. I want to hear your guys' thoughts towards all this. Also, everything, right? What's your thought on the 4th or 5th outfielder for the Blue Jays? You know, where do you think they're going to put Rowdy Tellez? Do you think they're going to start him in AAA? I don't think they should, because he's done his time. He's done 2 years in AAA. Plus, he had a really good September for the Blue Jays, and he's put a really good spring together for the Blue Jays. I think he deserves a spot, but where are you going to put him with Smoke and Morales? Look, you could arguably say that you can split time with Morales and Smoke as the DH, and then, you know, flip Smokey in there once in a while to play first base. I don't know. I don't know how they're going to work it. Charlie Montoya is the guy who's going to be dealing with all this year. I'm really intrigued to see what he's going to be doing once opening day comes on Thursday. March 28th against the Detroit Tigers. All right, so you know what, guys, that is going to do it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and you guys enjoy this week's games, because if you look at the record, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4, 2-1 were the Toronto Blue Jays in this week's games. Not bad, and they're still over a 500 ball club in the spring. You want to see that heading into the season, all right? So hit that like button if you guys enjoyed this one. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below. What'd you think of the game? What'd you think of the video? Or games? What'd you think of the video? There we go. and also your thoughts towards this team's season. Who do you think is going to make the team? Who do you think is not going to make the team? Any dark horses you have to make the team out of camp? I want to hear your guys' thoughts on all of that stuff. And Evan and I will talk to you as podcasted. This will be Thursday, or no, not Thursday. I'm so used to saying Thursday. Saturday evening. All right, links are in the description for the podcast channel and for the podcast itself on iTunes. Twitter is also down below. Follow up, send me a DM, do all that great stuff. And I will talk to you guys, Leafs edition tomorrow night as the Leafs welcome in the Philadelphia Flyers to Scotiabank Arena. They need to start on time and play some better hockey. They've given up 11 goals the past 2 games. And can we score a goal before being down 4-0? That'd be great. And can we get a win? Philly's a desperate team trying to get into the playoffs. Beat them down. Just got to say it. Freddie, bounce back game tomorrow night at Scotiabank Arena. As for the Toronto Raptors, guys, they're in action tonight. Who are they playing tonight? Look at that. I'm so focused on the Blue Jays and then thinking the Leafs. All right, they welcome back LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers to Scotiabank Arena. It's a primetime 8 p.m. tip-off there tonight. The Raptors looking to get back into the win column after that abysmal loss against the Cleveland Cavaliers in Cleveland. And as for the Jays, guys, like I said, we'll talk to you guys next week. Same time, same place. Talking about 8 games in 7 days. It's going to be a doozy. But we're that much closer to the season getting going for the Toronto Blue Jays on March 28th, all right? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Talk to you guys then.